All right. Good morning, folks. For anyone who's still joining in or calling in here, my name is Eric Woolmerich, and I'll be leading today's Decisions Lunch and Learn. Let me go ahead and introduce myself, what the Lunch and Learn is, and I will get things kicked off here. So first and foremost, what this is this is a Monday through Thursday just hour where we will put a decisions expert, any number of decisions folks can do and perform this Lunch and Learn. But we'll put a decisions expert on the call, and you have an hour to ask us really any questions that you have. This can be how to do something in the product. This could be troubleshooting an issue you may be having, or depending on who's on, it could be asking, about the company itself or what our favorite restaurant recommendations is. It's really just an open time for you to ask us just about anything. And so we'll be going in, and yeah, we're just here for this hour to really just be available to you and anything you need. So let me go ahead and introduce myself, and then I will get started here. So my name is Eric Woolmerich. I've been with Decisions for about 8 years now, 9 years. I've honestly lost count at this point, but I've been with Decisions for a while. I joined when we were a relatively small new company, and have, because of that, I've worn many hats throughout my tenure here at Decisions. I actually started as a junior developer, writing code, believe it or not, way back in the day. And since we've grown, I've kind of jumped around and done a little bit of everything. I've done professional services projects. I've done, our security and IT ops compliance. I did our support for a while. I helped lead the documentation team for a while. And at one point, actually most recently, I was actually in charge of all of our training. So I actually sat and trained most of our customers and traveled around the world and helped people understand and learn how to use and build stuff in Decisions. Currently, what my role is I am product manager. So I actually sit quite a bit with customers and partners and our engineering team and help drive things like the product roadmap or new features and initiatives we want to add to the product and gather requirements for those. So that's kind of my current set of expertise. But since I've been here a while and done quite a bit, I kind of know a little bit about everything. So jack of all trades, so to speak. So yeah, if you have any questions, particularly about the product roadmap or the direction we're going, I have some slides I can share as well. We can go that direction, or like I said when we started this call, we're happy to just dive right in and answer really any questions you may have, how to do stuff, what Decisions can do, anything along those lines. So the best way to do that, if you've never attended, is to either post in the chat or the Q&A panel. There's two ways to kind of type out any questions you may have. Or, as I already see on the participants panel, you can actually go ahead and there's a raise hand button towards the bottom of that panel or the bottom of your Zoom window. And if you raise your hand, we can let you come off mute. And you can verbally ask your question as well. We can discuss some things. So like I said, I already see the first one, the first hand raised here. So I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know if I can. Maybe Caitlin can. I'm going to go ahead and let you come off mute. There we go. And yeah, if you want to come off mute and state your question, we'll go ahead and dive in. Oh, and just like that, they left. Oh, there we go. No, they're still here. All right, Radley, yes.
Hey, Eric. Sorry, it asked me to join as a panelist, so that's
no problem at all. That works.
So just kind of want to pick your brain on something that we're dealing with here. So I have a travel request workflow. It starts with a form I present to the user. I give the user the option to save a draft of that form, as they're kind of working on building it out, or submit the form then for approval. One of a new requirements that we've had is we have a lot of frequent travelers, and they're always putting in, and people travel with their families and their spouses. It's kind of a different situation here. So they're putting in a lot of passport information, date of birth, names, just lots of things. So they want to have kind of a template that they can, just always start from a set spot and build out a specific travel request and then submit that one. And then, several months later, go back to their template, start a fresh one without having to put all that information in again.
Gotcha.
What are kind of my options? What do you think would be a good way to tackle this?
Yeah, certainly. So a lot of good options. Question for you is the form that they fill out the same, or do they have different forms and data that they fill out in order to submit all the data?
Nope, form is exactly the same.
Okay. And then how are you currently saving that data and that structured data? You have a data structure around it, or do you store it to an external source? What do you do with the data?
It's a flow entity extension?
Okay. Yep. Cool. And then you go and you save it wherever?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. So I mean, you have a number of options here. I actually can share my screen. I already am sharing my screen. I'll jump into decisions. Let's talk about a couple ways to accomplish this. Just quick disclaimer, I'm on version 8.5. It's actually an unreleased version. It's a little bit new. It should be actually scheduled to release, I believe, next week. So it's not terribly hidden or crazy things here. But if you're not on version 8 or this looks a little different, that might be potentially why. So one way to start with templates. Anytime you're looking at sort of templatizing sets of data or groups of data, it's got to be stored somewhere, correct? So my initial gut reaction is to look at our data structures and to figure out how I can define the sets of data I want to save and store them somewhere. And so you have to at least start with a database structure, which will create a table in the decisions database and allow you to store any number of defined fields inside of there. Or you can even do something like an entity. The difference between a database structure and an entity is an entity will show up in my folder tree on the left-hand side. So depending on how you're expecting users to interact with the data, you might choose one over the other. So for example, if you want just the first screen of theirs, when they click submit travel request, the first screen is a drop-down that says choose from predefined template or create new. I would probably leave it as a database structure because you don't need it to live physically in the decisions portal for them to interact with. Another option, though, is if they go to a dashboard and they see a list of these entities and they can right-click and edit the template or right-click and say create, initiate process from template or start request from template, then you might want it to live somewhere in the portal so you can secure it with permissions or put it in certain areas where only certain users can see it, et cetera, et cetera. So a couple different high-level considerations there, but somehow I'd say the data needs to be stored in our database. So I'm going to choose the simple route for the lunch and learn today, and we can explore more of the other possibilities if you want. And let's go ahead and call this, travel request template, and put some of those fields that you cared about. So like we had, I don't know, I guess we had our name, maybe our KTN. Oh, that should just be a string. Perfect. Passport number. I know you said that you had things like dependents, or I guess additional traveler details. And this most likely could be like another complex type of data or like a list of them that is a new data structure. Can't we do that from here? Isn't there a way to do it? Yeah, create new. I haven't done this in a while. So we can do additional travelers here, and we'll say there's their name, KTN, passport number, etc., so on and so forth. But ideally, like here's just the big picture idea.
Right.
We get the data, whatever we want to save, and now I have this as a template. So now that the data is here, you have in any flow, let's say, submit travel request. See how fast I could build a really, really simple process. Let's go ahead and have flow or a form. Where's my form? Oh man, I'm going in the weeds because I get too excited. I'm going to build the world's ugliest form just for the sake of, demonstration. And we'll have a name. And, I didn't add my label. That's okay. KTN, just an enter. Doesn't want to add my label. And passport number. Oh, it's because I didn't hold Control Shift Enter. There we go. What was this? KTN. And cool. Ugly form. No one cares. And then maybe this is what I wanted to do. Save as template. And again, you can imagine however you want to do this. But I imagine it's something like this. The first part of their process would be, let's go fetch templates. So we can go to our saved database structure here and say get all. We can then show another form here that is choose existing template. Oh, template. Again, spelling doesn't count. And this would just be a drop-down list of their type, which is travel request template. There it is. We're going to display the name. I guess we'd have to give it a template name. Okay, well, again, maybe I should have thought of that, but that's okay. I'm getting to the point here, I promise. I wanted the source to be data coming in. Cool. It's going to be all templates. Again, maybe you could filter it by created on user before it gets here, so that you know, it's only showing this user's template. Right. And then say go. All right, cool. Almost there. Let's make this optional with the final piece, because they don't have to choose a template, obviously. Okay, so we fetch all the templates from here. We get it back in something we're going to rename to all templates. We give it in their form here. We pick all templates. We're not going to pre-select any of them, unless maybe that's a feature you want to add, but that's okay. If they select one, we'll kind of call it selected all templates, and then we can map it into here from the selected all templates. So this is just the idea. Like basically, you're just taking a set of data and choosing whether or not you want to pre-fill a form with it. If they don't, it'll be empty. And then the last thing we'd want to do at the end is if they checked that checkbox, if they said, save it as a template, and that's true, we'll go create a new template in the database. If they didn't check that, we'll just end the process. Or, you know, in your case, go to the next, you know, part. Oh my God, I got way too far into this. That's okay. Name, KTN, passport number. I don't have additional travelers, so I can't do that for now, but that's fine. All right, cool. Now, if I can still build simple flows really fast, we'll see if this works. If I run this, I have no templates predefined, so I just say that's fine. This is gonna be the Eric Wolmering template. My KTN is whatever, my passport number is whatever, and then I could say submit, and it'll go forward in the process. Now, if I say save as template, should save it in the database. So the next time I go to initiate this and I choose my dropdown, I have the Eric Wolmering template. And I go to send it forward, it's already pre-filled out, and I can continue forward. But say I change this and I have one for my wife now, different numbers, different stuff. That's some more. Submit. Oh, I didn't say save as template. Dang it. Well, let's see if it did the thing that I was expecting it to. Cool. Only one template. Try that again. So this is the big picture idea. One option is you can sit into here and you can say, I'm going to manage just a really simple set of defined data in my database, allow users to choose that, go forward, and then it's going to pre-fill my form. If they don't choose one, then they can go ahead and, you know, not have to stress about a new template. So that'd be one option. You know, additionally, that you can start to kind of expand the idea around this. So maybe the additional traveler details down here is like a list of users that have already been predefined from the templates, and they can click one and say add or define new. And you can get a little complicated, but this is how I would start to think about saving out templates. First, you got to save it somewhere. It's got to be stored in the database. And then you want to just consider how you interact with it, how you fetch it, how you save it, how you edit it, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So I'll pause there because I went a little in the weeds there. But any questions or anything?
No, that's great. I'll certainly, you know, watch the YouTube later today and take that slow. But I appreciate it. That looks like it'll be great.
Cool. Yeah. I went a little fast, and I think you might want to slow down and think really thoroughly about like what sort of interactions you'd expect and kind of need here. Because the other thing too, we don't care about ID, is now I can create reporting around this, and I can have this report displayed somewhere so that users can look at their templates. They could either initiate new ones from this template. You could build right-click actions here that say, you know, start request from this template. I could right-click and say edit and edit the details of my template. So I think there's a lot bigger discussion here, but in short, my answer would be, you know, think through the data storage of it and how you want to interact with it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate it.
And if you want my terrible build, I'm happy to export this. Without this is my stuff.
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great. I'll certainly take it.
Yeah, not at all. I'll shoot it to you as soon as we're done here.
Great. Thank you so much.
I'm actually going to call it terrible template idea.
Wonderful.
But There you go. Yep. I'll speak to you an email as soon as we're done here.
Great. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Oh, we have another raised hand. Perfect. Let me download this. Make sure I don't forget. Take a note on my screen. Wonderful. All right, cool. Great. We have another question coming in. Looks like it's from Greg. Caitlin, if you're on, do you mind letting Greg? There you go. I can see his mic now.
Hey, Eric, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, I actually submitted this question when I signed up for this lunch session
cool.
here, but it's fairly simple question, I think. It's in regards to the report viewer. On like, say you drag a report viewer onto a dashboard and you got it populated with case entities. The search feature, when you go to search, you could sort by, you could group by. Is there any way to add active form controls to this pre-built search pop-up in the report viewer?
So right here, adding your own form control, like you said, the active form control to this specific search.
Actually go, it's not that search right there.
Or this search, the filter. Also keep in mind, I'm on version 8.
Yeah, I'm on an older version. I'm on 7.10.
Yeah, so yours is going to look significantly different. I should have one ready. Do I have a VM of this?
I mean, I could share my screen. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, let's do that. That might be,
okay.
We might need to make you a panelist real quick. For you to see your screen, but let's go ahead and do it. All right. There you go. Looks like he's joining back in. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Right, now I can hear you. Excuse me.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Can you see that?
It's coming up there. There we go. Now I see it.
Yep. So this report viewer right here, I'm looking at here, and this search feature here. Is there any way to customize like a form control here? So we're
gotcha.
Just simple things like eliminating white space or any characters you don't want in there.
Gotcha. Yeah. Currently, no. Thank you for refreshing my brain there. I'm gonna steal screen back. Currently, no.
Yeah, go ahead.
Part of it is. Oh, that's not decisions. Where's my decisions? Sign me out. There we go. Okay. Share the screen. Part of it is we've rebuilt the form builder. So actually, in newer versions of 8, that pop-up dialog is gone. So now if you need to do sorting or grouping or filtering, you could do it on the columns themselves. So I can go here and I can filter this by only so many things that say the word training. I could do my sorting here. I can do my grouping here as well. The search now is just a very simple omni search of everything in whatever the report's showing. So let me come back here to where there's actually more stuff.
And there would be you can add like a form control to that search right there?
No, unfortunately not. So that's kind of what I was getting to. But this behaves as an omni search for all columns. Now, if you wanted something really, I love that new button. Sorry, I forgot this is in version 8.5, by the way. There's this new make big report button. I don't know what to maximize. It's really cool.
That's cool.
Anyway, that's just a fun side note. But if you want to do that, you still can. Depending on the interaction you want, you can actually disable this search here, and on a page put an active form control that interacts with your report. So any page, I need a page. Let's actually here. I'm gonna create a new folder so I'm not messing up too much stuff here. We'll call this page stuff. Don't follow my naming patterns. They're just bad. But on a page, here we go. You can have components work with each other.
Okay.
So if I have up here, and again, this is not designed well, I have my, what is it called? Run flow, inline field, flow run part. That's what it is. And my flow run part, let's get rid of this. Man, my local install is going very, very slow. Okay. We get rid of all that fluff around it, and then we have a flow here. And this flow shows a simple form. Show me a form. Where's my form? Helps if you can read. All right, simple form. Hey, we'll actually use a simple form for this. And you wanted like really custom search. We'll call this, custom search thingy. And then a button that says search. Again, yours would be much, much better. You can use cool iconography and stuff. What this can do, like say the output of this, you want to be applied to like a custom filtering. Like you only want to, instead of having the search the whole, every single column of your report, you only want to search 2 columns of your report or 3. The output of this custom search thingy can actually go interact with the report using the using selection bus. So if I have a report here, report viewer, report over here, and I've turned off that search header, which is it behavior? Oh my God. View. Okay, hide header. Okay, cool. That should hide that search thing. Now you can say that when I click search on here, it will actually push data to columns or refresh, sources or the flow that sources this report down here. So there is a way to do it. It would require a little bit more work than just saying kind of what you recommended, which actually is a really interesting feature. I wonder if that's something we'd consider doing. But so you can't modify this, but you could create your own version of this, put it as a flow run part, and then have the output of that flow run part modify things about your report.
I gotcha.
So it's a little bit more work there, but also fully customized. I mean, you could change even stuff about your report if you really wanted to get fancy. You could change how it's by one key search, you can change the name and sort it and group it by that thing that you just named. So you could apply all of that to your report as well, but it would take some work.
Okay. I also have a quick follow-up question, and back to the report viewer I just showed you, the older version. Mm-hmm. Say it's populated with case entities, and you click on one of the cases, that pop-up comes from like the right side of the screen.
Oh yeah,
like that. Is there any way to stop that?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So on a page where you're showing a report, or maybe it's on the report itself. Let's pick a report here. It's a setting. I just have to find the setting very quickly. Now that I say, I think it's on the report here. Show actions on, no. What is it called? If any of my coworkers on the call remember off the top of your head, I'm not embarrassed for you to show me up here. Oh my gosh, what is it called? Group action? No. I'm gonna find it, and I'm not gonna stop until I do. But yeah, I don't like that slide at all. Maybe it's not on the report. Maybe I'm wrong.
And one of the columns is actually a link. Is that always a link, or can that be taken off too?
It can kind of be taken off if you hide the first column. So yeah, if the first column will
just hide the first column. Okay, yep. Then yeah, that's actually a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you come here and make the first column invisible, your second column that now looks like your first doesn't have that link. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, a little sneaky there. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna find this. Kirsten, you might have it. Where's the slide out action setting? So like on a report, where it has that silly this slide out. I know you can turn it off. I'm trying to remember where it might be on the. Hold on. She's gonna find it. She's gonna find it before I am. No, I'm gonna find it first. Sorry, we have one of our active director of documentation on the call. I'm gonna find it before her. Oh God. Data drill view? No. Oh, there's so many settings. Oh, real quick action types. You found it. All right, here's a document on it. I'll post this in the chat for you too. Grid view. Show slider. It is in the report under grid settings type. Okay. So if you edit the report where you do or don't want that action, thank you, Kirsten. Under action, wait, where is it? Under grid view, grid settings type. Oh, that's not intuitive. That's my fault. You can change it to specified, and then under row left click action type, you can say show the accents to the entity, show whatever the default is, or don't show anything at all.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the slider, it seems kind of neat in idea, like in your head, but in practice, it becomes kind of annoying.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And I posted this document link in the chat too, so you can have the reference for it.
All right, sounds good. I'll take that right now.
Cool. Good questions, though. All right, let me go back to, I closed a bunch of stuff when you shared your screen. Let me go back to the participants panel, make sure no one's raising their hand. It doesn't look like it. Okay. All right, I don't see any other questions so far. Let's see, there's a few people still on, cool. All right, yeah, I mean, I can, let me show this slide for a few minutes because I'm really excited about it. And anyone who's on the call, since you're still here, you get to hear me ramble for about 5 minutes. I just want to talk about a couple things coming in later this year and into next year that are really big changes to the decisions application for our designers and developers specifically. And I think they're going to be significant improvements to the way you conceptualize and build projects in the tool, as well as how you then go and deploy those projects across multiple servers. And specifically, the two things that we're really focusing on, you can see it here targeting the end of this year, and it will also bleed into next year's designs, is things around deployment view and project view. And I just wanted to show them off really quickly. Where's project view first? First here is project view. What project view is this idea that we want to constrain the designer experience instead of being, kind of designed and built in a giant folder tree on the left. We want to build them into discrete projects. So when you're building something, you don't just go to somewhere in the folder tree and hope you're building in the right place. You're going to put everything into a box of work, into a set of work called a project. And inside that project is where all the work that's going to exist for your application is going to be, or for your piece of the application is going to be, all your data types, flows, subflows, everything's still going to get built in here. But by constraining it, we're going to be able to consistently understand what's being used, consistently understand dependencies across, what things you're using from other places inside the portal. When you're actually building as a designer, you're only going to be able to see things that are part of this project. So when you pick a data type or pick a subflow, you're not picking from someone else's, work or someone else's project. You know it's going to be existing as part of this project. And then we can do some really cool things like on the screen here around some default dashboarding, reporting, and things like project health to understand how your project is working and existing on a server. You're also going to see a whole new suite of like administration reports about how this project specifically is performing and behaving. So this is kind of phase one. Phase one is going to be, we're going to move everything out of a giant folder tree into this project-based portal view. And inside this project view will be a much more consistent, constrained, easy to build in experience for all of our developers. So I'm really excited about it. But this also, the reason we did this first, the reason we heavily focused on project views is to clean up deployment as well. Deployment is something that currently can be a little bit of a headache at decisions, partially because of the folder tree dependency issue that I kind of hinted at, where really your thing can use something from anywhere else in the portal, which can use something from anywhere else. So when you go to move from one server to another, that deployment can get potentially a little bit complicated and convoluted. So we wanted to move things into project and then make deployment wicked simple. The other key change with deployment server is that we're changing the paradigm of having developers check in and check out projects, logging into production and pulling a project down and checking it out, to actually being a proper deployment model, like part of a CI/CD pipeline or IT ops operation, where someone goes to the deployment server, manages the project, understands the version that it's on, reviews all the code, approves them, and from a single button click from there can deploy to any connected server. So it allows us to be more secure because we can lock down who has access to it. It allows us to be more consistent so that we know things are constrained in projects and deploy easier. And allows us to be more visible because the dashboarding and reporting on all of this process, the project view and deployment server is getting a massive rewrite and massive update. So they're major lifts for us, That's just kind of fun. They're major lift for us because it's going to change a little bit fundamentally about how people conceptualize and build their work and decisions. And it also, the deployment server specifically, we're rewriting from the ground up. Or have been for several months now and continuing to. So anyway, I just wanted to show it off because that's kind of what that's been my job the past 8 months, is really heavily focused on Project View and Deployment Server. And I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to improve just consistency of build and quality of build and confidence in deployments and all those things, that I think are really, really important for an automation tool. So anyway, just wanted to show it off a little bit. I'm very excited about it. As you can see from here, there's also a bunch of other changes and improvements coming. It's not like that's the only thing we're doing. So if you're at all interested in what's coming throughout next year, I have some slides and presentation work here. Just as a final note, I give a proper product roadmap presentation every other Thursday from 11 a.m. to noon Eastern time. If you'd like to join in on any of those calls and see me kind of walk through, I go through a lot of these in a lot more depth. We look at some of the designs for them. I talk the strategy of why we do certain things the way we're doing. I look at some of our competitive analysis and how that impacts our roadmap. So we do a much more deep dive into what the roadmap is and why it looks the way it does. But yeah, if you're interested in that, every other Thursday, it's myself or our CTO presenting those calls. And you can just email me, eric@decisions.com, and I'll get you on those calls. Whew. That's my rambling over. Yeah, fun stuff coming. A lot of fun stuff coming. Our UI UX design team is been hard at work, and I think the results are going to be evident here in the next coming months. All right, let me glance back at the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't see any raised hands. So cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everyone. If anyone has anything else, shoot me an email, eric@decisions.com. Otherwise, thank you all for your time. Enjoy your hopefully long weekend with the holidays, and I'm sure we'll catch y'all at one of these again. So
thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. Good weekend.
Man. Yeah, have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.